Hi, I'm Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style.
And I'm Jill Chivers from Shop Your Wardrobe. And in this video, we've been asked to talk about body shape and styles that are in fashion and how you can mesh those two things if a current fashion trend that you're a bit interested in might not work for your particular body shape. We thought this was really an interesting one to have a bit of a discussion about.
So, one of the things I always think that's really important is that you have to make decisions about the swings and roundabouts where you're happy to go, well, I'm not going to look as tall, thin, curvy, whatever it is that you happen to want to look.
Fit and fabulous.
I may not, this trend may not flatter my body in the way I like, I want it to be ideally flattered.
Yeah.
And then it's making a decision going, will I jump on board this trend or not?
Yes.
And I think this is where, that when you know your rules, and this is why I think it's useful to know your rules, because then you can decide, will I break it or not? So there's currently a trend for oversized kind of sweaters, big jumpers. And I've decided, I quite enjoy that.
Yeah.
I don't look as slim as I could without them. But, I like that I don't have to suck my tummy in.
Yeah.
There's no need for Spanx when I'm wearing them. So for me, and I will always make sure that I'll wear them with something fitted.
Yeah.
Because then you get that volume with something thin. So we don't just go, oh, I'm wearing baggy with baggy.
Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting look. The more voluminous piece with the slimmer fit piece. I think that's visually really appealing.
So there's a trend for cuffing jeans at the moment. And so if you're petite, you have to make a decision. Do I want to cuff my jeans or not?
Because cuff jeans make you look shorter?
They do. So a cuff on a jean, particularly a cuff on a jean, because the inside colour of a jean is different from the outside colour.
Right.
So it's generally lighter what's on the outside.
Yeah.
And so therefore what it does, and often the cuff is quite large, is it creates quite a large horizontal band and really changes the colour.
Yeah, right.
So you have to make a decision, do I want to do this or not?
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's always ways you can get around this.
Yeah.
Because what you could do is have a light denim, light legs, so when we cuff we see a bit of skin. Yeah. And light boots, say.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're not making that cuff obvious.
Yeah.
But we're still, and because of the light denim, the difference between the front inside and the outside is not as extreme as when I've got a dark denim.
Right.
When I cuff it, it becomes much more obvious.
So it's kind of low contrast in those areas. There's still some difference.
The eye's not really going, hey, look at that.
Yeah, it's not arresting it.
It's not arresting it because otherwise. So it's always thinking about too that if you're going, well, I've got my dark denim, well, then think about, well, maybe the cuff is very fine if you really want a cuff. So it's not a big wide horizontal, it's a very narrow horizontal. And maybe I've got some ankle boots on that are still very dark, so there's not a big line there that you're doing. But rather than cuffing it and then doing a light coloured boot or something completely different, which is going to be more obvious in that let's change the colour and create a more obvious horizontal detail.
Yeah. Yeah. A trend I've noticed just at the moment is quite high-waisted jeans. And I've seen a lot of the thin young things wearing them, and of course they can wear almost anything and look fabulous. And I've just decided that is a trend that is not for me.
It was never great for me back in the 80s.
When it first came around, when we wore it then, we were the thin young things then.
Even then it was never great for me because I had to push it. But maybe I could wear a high-waisted pair of jeans and wear something longer over the top and you'll never know they're really high-waisted.
But then what's the point of wearing the trend? That's what I say. I mean, you wear the trend or you don't wear the trend.
Yeah. But that's where it's kind of making that decision about, do I want to or not? Or am I going to go, if this is not a great look for me, is it something that I'll be happy to look back on and think, yeah, I'm happy that I followed that trend? Or is it something that might go, for my body, it's just a trend I'm going to let slide?
And the way I look at it is being aware of the key points in my silhouette that I need to be aware of, where, not much of a waist, can be blocky through that point, fairly broad in the shoulder, not an especially long leg, so I'm fairly evenly balanced in that respect. So any new trend that I'm looking at, which I don't really do trend shopping, as you all know, but if I were to look at that, they would be the things that I would do a quick evaluation on to say, how's this going to sit on those key points? And when you know what those things are, then you can do the same thing. You can do this evaluation to say, well, at the moment, oversized boyfriend jackets are really in, and that's going to either really work for me, that's going to give me a nice silhouette, through my torso, or it's going to overwhelm me. I'm going to look like I'm wearing grandpa's dress up box.
And maybe if you had short legs, and then suddenly it's going to make your legs look super short.
Yeah.
But you could go, I really like the trend. Okay, so I'm going to do a column of colour.
Yeah.
So I'll only wear that oversized, and I'm going to wear it with a skinny pant so that the oversized is on the top, and I wear a skinny pant, and it'll be a similar colour, so I'm not really having a big difference between my big jacket and my pants.
Yeah.
So that I'm not really cutting my body up in the same way.
Yeah.
So it's always going, well, what is where do I want to put my horizontals? So body shape tells us where we want to put our horizontals, where we put verticals, and where we put detail.
Yeah, right.
And a bit about the shapes.
Yeah.
So really that's what it tells. So you go, well, where do I want to put my horizontals?
Yep.
So does that trend put a horizontal where I don't want it to be? If it does, then I say, well, am I happy with the negative effect it will have on my body?
Right. Yeah.
Or not. And then you can make a knowledgeable decision.
Yeah.
And then I might look at it and go, oh, but maybe it's got some verticals that compensate for that horizontal.
Yeah.
So maybe that's okay.
Yeah.
Or I might just go, or maybe, and this is where for some of us are more trend driven than others. I'm not particularly trend driven.
No.
But if I see a trend that I like, I'm happy to have some of that. But there'll be many trends that I'll go, oh, I don't want to wear that trend because it's just not me. So quite happy to let that slide by.
And that's a very legitimate choice to make. Another way of looking at trends is I sometimes make up my own. So in our current Australian winter, I'm doing a bit of a faux fur trend. I don't really know what's out in the stores, whether there's much out there, but I'm doing a bit of a faux fur thing. And I'm aware that because I am fairly big busted and broad in the shoulders, that it can add bulk where I don't need any further bulk, and it can make me look very top heavy.
Yes.
So I'm aware that the furs that I'm choosing are collars and shawls and cutaways and things like that, so that I can still get that sort of luxe, sensual, strokeable quality, and I'm finding it a really sort of comforting texture to add, but without making me look massive on the top. Because I don't want that either. I don't want to have to, be this big bulky Michelin thing just to get this lovely luxe feeling that I'm really enjoying this winter.
So it's always looking at whatever trend, because there'll be a new trend next week. So it's it's most trends, they're not particularly some of the shorter lived ones, and generally the shorter lived kind of fads, I would call them, they don't suit a lot of people.
Right.
So if it's harder to wear, if the average woman, so if you think about the average woman might have a bigger hips and thighs or bottom, so if it's going to make that area look larger, it just doesn't last.
Yeah.
People will get on board it and then go, this thing I don't really wear because I put it on, I don't look great.
Yeah.
Compared to when I wear my other thing that doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So if it's a fad, it's going to be gone in a minute anyway.
Right.
Then you'll have your trends, and they do last longer.
Yeah.
So you might get 2 to 5 years for your kind of average trend.
Yeah.
And then you've got your classics, and your classics still don't last forever. I mean, I look back, the classic pant of 1990 was 2 pleats in the front, quite a high waist, and tapered in a kind of slightly that tulipy, balloony shape down to the ankle, and it finished on the ankle, and you always saw the coloured socks.
Absolutely.
By 2000, the classic black pant was flat front, low rise, and bootleg.
Right.
And quite long.
Yeah.
By 2010, it's a slim leg, flat front, mid-rise.
Right. Yeah.
So as much as black pants are always classic, they don't remain the same.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so it's one of those things that we can get on board some trends, and we might even like a fad. We might just go, I love that cold shoulder thing. And in fact, someone the other day said to me, is Imogen, can women over 40 wear cold shoulder? And to my answer to that is yes. In my opinion, yes, because I think shoulders are quite a nice part of most people's bodies.
So cold shoulders when part of your shoulder is exposed in the top.
Yes, part of your shoulder is exposed in a top. So there's a lot of tops at the moment where either it's kind of an off the shoulder, or it's got a strap, and then it's got a split sleeve. There's shoulder showing.
Yeah, right.
And it's everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's that sort of thing where I go, it's not like it's showing lots of cleavage. I'm not wearing mini, like it's still actually...
it's not showing the under of your arm. No, we don't want that.
So I actually go, I think it's quite a nice trend that people of all ages can wear. And I've seen 70-year-olds wear it who look good in it.
Yeah.
So I think if it's you, wear it.
Yeah.
If it's not, leave it be.
And that's such an important thing, that this capacity that we have as consumers to say no is really powerful, not for the purpose of sending a message to the fashion industry, but for ourselves, so that we make choices that we're comfortable with. So we're creating the wardrobes that make us feel good, that suit our lifestyles, that fit our budgets, all those kinds of things. To me, that's really what the power of being a consumer is about. And saying no is sometimes really powerful, because that means you can say yes to other things that suit you better.
Yes. So if you really go, I'm not sure where my horizontals and verticals and things should go, get a copy of your Body Shape Bible, which you can download from my website.
Excellent.
And that's going to give you that information. And then you can go into a store with some knowledge, hold up a garment, look at where are the verticals, where are the horizontals, what are the design lines doing, where's the detail, is that good for my body and what I want?
Yes.
Or not, and then you can make a good decision based on your own needs and desires and your own body.
Yeah, excellent advice.